Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being here. Liam Murphy back. Going to be drafting some NFL best ball teams in the big board on Underdog Fantasy this morning. Going to try to reach the finals again, win another best ball tournament. We've done it on stream before, so let's get it. Jumping in the big board now. Kind of a slow time for NFL. And I've had a little bit of travel I've been doing. So that's why I've not been streaming as much. But I should shortly return to, 2 to 3 streams a week. Grinding here. This is, I think, my 17th big board that we're ripping right now. Do me a favor if you're not already. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Looks like we pulled the 12 hole. Been getting a lot of the back half, which is fine to me. Back half seems pretty strong this year. You got to navigate it well, but there's certainly some gems out there. Let's catch up on any NFL news. Again, not a ton, but we'll see what Underdog NFL is reporting here over on the Twitters. A lot of combine stuff, not that meaningful. Gene T, not doing the combine. Again, not meaningful. Guys getting released. Shadur, not going to throw at the combine. I mean, opinions out there seem to be pretty wide-ranging on him. If I had to side one way, I would side bust for him. So, I mean, and I think, he could go anywhere from, I don't know, top 3, 5 in the draft to this could be a year where Jackson Dart goes ahead of him. Vikings open the contract extension with Darnold. I don't see this. I don't see this unless they really are already regretting what they did with what's his face there. You guys know what I'm talking about. God. Why am I blanking on this guy's name? The quarterback who didn't play got hurt. J.J. McCarthy. Gerald Everett released. I mean, this is a sad news blurb. Gerald Everett to be released by the Bears. My God. Brandon Staley with the Saints. Again, yeah, not meaningful. So it's that time of year. Colston Loveland getting some love where we're pretty much just waiting for the combine. We're waiting for free agency. One thing I did want to say is I think the discussion of Matt Stafford getting traded is insane. It doesn't make any sense to me. He, was like a play or two from going to the Super Bowl. If he's not the best, he's at worst the second best quarterback in the NFC. The Rams, as a team, have a coach who it's been rumored he's going to retire for a while. So if that's true, don't see why he would do that. And the Rams as a team are an ascending team where they kind of hit on some defensive pieces there. Their defense is gelling, their D-line especially. Just got to fix the line and find another wideout opposite of Puka Nacua, and you give Stafford another year. I don't even know what is reasonable for them. Like, what would they trade him and do? Sam Darnold? I don't know about that. Yeah, again, like Neighbors, obviously a talented player. Quarterback's the biggest concern here. Let's go Achane. I think people are a little bored with him, but he's Achane. And let's go CMC for the first time. Little Achan CMC start. CMC obviously is a risky player, but he has massive upside. I'm going to write an article either this week or next week about the players in the pool who have they're fragile in the sense that they have massive upside, but they also have massive downside, and what to do with them. These are guys who are either home runs or out, Probably going to get updated rankings before the combine, even. Going to give you updated rankings just this week or next week, where just, how feelings have changed. Not going to be a ton of change at the top, but kind of more in these like later rounds as I've drafted more and as ADP moves around, changing feelings. So yeah, you're going to get updated rankings, Isaac. Hampton over Ginty? Yeah, I don't know. Again, this is kind of like clickbait season. I don't even know if Mel Kiper believes that or if he is just being told you need to stir up some clicks for ESPN. So do this. Well, maybe seeing as the combine starts in 2 days, maybe I'll just wait on the rankings. But yeah, I'll definitely update them just after the combine then, I guess. So combine kicks off Thursday, finishes up Sunday. So yeah, I'll probably just do a ranking update March 3rd. The combine isn't what it once was in the sense that a lot of these drills we care about, such as the 3-cone drill for like wideouts, a lot of guys don't even run that anymore because they've been advised by their agents not to. Now, I mean, I don't know. If a guy's not running the 3-cone, I would kind of take that as a little bit worrisome, And you look at a guy like DK Metcalf, who arguably slipped during the drill. It's part of the reason why he fell in the draft, because he ran for bad 3-cone time. When I was a senior in college, I wrote a paper predicting the success of wide receivers in football. And one of the most important drills I found in predicting how many like yards a guy will generate in the next level is their 3-cone time. So we don't really get that anymore. The 40-yard dash is obviously a bit overblown. A lot of the guys just don't even do the drill. So combine, it's a good time. Sorry, Ryan. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of bigger boards going at this time of the year. What even is that? There's a bigger board and the biggest board. Already maxed out the big board and little board? Jesus, bro. Little board's only 50 teams. Well, hey, I mean, different strokes for different folks. Ryan clearly trying to fire the clip and chill. Other people, this time is kind of like a shorter time. Hey, Raymond, appreciate you becoming a member. Cheers to you, sir. How important do you think it is for Cam Scatatibo to have a good combine? Well, I think it's important for a lot of guys to have a good combine where it really it really depends. I wouldn't say I'm perfectly versed on like who needs a good combine and who doesn't, but combine does matter, Not every drill. It's not more important than, so some of the most important things is the interviews, which we don't obviously get data on. Who is a professional and who isn't? Ryan said the only reason he fired so much right now, lack of discipline. Amen. Just seems kind of crazy Derrick Henry goes so close to CMC. Yeah, I think I'm going to get squeezed at wideout here, but I'm going to do it. And then like Mike Evans versus, say, Jameson Williams versus, say, Smith. You could throw Tet in there. It's all interesting. I am going to do Mike. Big Mike. We're just drafting the guys who we know have been good in the past right now. With the core of HN, CMC, Cook, probably going to stop at 4, possibly 5 running backs, which is risky because we know CMC has got a wide range. HN and Cook are both not big guys, but all 3 of these dudes are guys who can just win you a playoff week. Hey, Raymond, the Fast Puppy winner. I think Davis was talking about you. Oh, you're the guy who drafts the 5-5-5 or whatever. Mike Evans, Mr. Consistency. Raymond here touting some stats. Nice, sir. I would just my advice to you, Raymond, would not. I'm not saying you're not, but to be humble and realize that if you're going to have a 73% advance rate, obviously you drafted the same guys a lot, and you drafted similar builds a lot, and that can be a good year. You can have a good year doing that. You can also have a very bad year. And so I would not fool yourself and tell yourself, I know the key to every year. Maybe you do. More importantly, building the same team, if you're not varying the players, it's just quite a risky spot. Like the example I would give last year, and I said this plenty of times going into the playoffs, is a guy like the Wizard or whatever, who advanced a lot of teams. All his teams are similar. So I only advanced 20 so teams, but my teams were varied. My builds were varied. I was quite confident in the quality of my teams. Best ball is a quality game. It's not just advance as many as you can. Advance as many quality teams as you can. Agreed, right? So just my advice. Obviously, you had a good year, though. Do what you want. In general, the cheaper the guy is, the more acceptable it is. To a point, right? The example I gave on stream last week with Davis is he keeps on taking Elijah Moore, and I don't really see the risk reward for that. I have a very hard time seeing Elijah Moore in the 20th round being a home run. And most likely he's a single. And so when you're doing that, you're saying there are no home runs in the 20th round, which on the aggregate is probably correct. But every once in a while, you're going to get the Kyrans, you're going to get the Pukas, you're going to get a year where a bunch of running backs get hurt, and the backup running backs are smashes. So you do want to be varying it somewhat, unless you're very confident a guy is just underpriced. Going back to my start, this is pretty fun. James Cook, I think as the offseason goes on, people will just kind of forget how good he was in the playoffs and towards the end of the year. Huge feather in his cap is Joe Brady returning to the Bills. The Bills' O-line is elite. And I do think Josh Allen will steal less and less of the touchdowns as things progress, as his career progresses. So, I think he's not too dissimilar to a JT in some ways, where they both have explosive capabilities. Obviously, JT's a bigger back; he can shoulder a bigger workload. But they're both this kind of like home run guy. Seems like a really, really nice pick in this market. Yeah, I think Nico is defensible at the, 103 if you wanted to. Okay, so the big question for us is, did we get any wide receivers? I don't know, man. Jerry Jeudy. Whatever. We'll take our first share of Jeudy too. Okay, let's do the Jeudy Godwin. We're just embracing the risk here where, Jeudy was awesome last year. I had quite a bit of him as a 10th round pick or whatever he was. He's now going as a 6th round pick. When you go 3 RBs, you just got to start filling out your wideout room. And Jeudy, very unlikely to be a bad pick, Yeah, he has upside. He's like a Deontay Johnson of years past, where you're like, I'm taking a guy who's going to get a lot of targets. He has upside. Maybe something clicked for him. You could argue he's winning the Steve Smith war. If for those who follow the NFL, Steve Smith attacked Jerry Jeudy as a player, and then obviously Steve Smith in the news due to cheating on his wife. Godwin, my first share of him as well. I think it could be argued the nuts for him is to not land back with the Bucs. And in a vacuum, I would want to be taking Ayuk over Godwin. Just even though Godwin was literally the wide receiver 1 at points last year until he got hurt. He's going to be 29 versus Ayuk, who is 26, I already have Big Mike. Yeah, I think he would. I think that should be the favorite. Him back with the Bucs. And it's just like, I don't know. He got hurt. Got hurt like week 6 or something. What's kind of nice about Godwin is we will get some sense of his recovery based on what contract he gets. So he got hurt in week 7. So, I don't know. He's historically not been a big touchdown guy. Hey, Raymond, we need the trolls in fantasy football. Nothing worse than like a home league where everyone's just being nice. You need a villain. You need someone to play the villain role. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish I went Ayuk over Godwin. Yeah, it's just the thing with Godwin is there's a risk in multiple ways. Number one, what is he like after the injury? Number two, how big of a step does Jalen McMillan take? Because if Jalen McMillan was looking pretty effing good last year, if he is really good, you're kind of looking like a team similar to the Niners. But Baker was obviously elite in fantasy last year. It's kind of gross because, if I want him, I have to take him here, which I'll probably do. I would not advise building like Frog Dog here. He scoops the value on Burrow, but at what cost? I just have a hard time envisioning you winning the contest in a very top-heavy contest with naked Burrow. Well, the nice thing about Ayuk is you can kind of assume Debo's out of there. I think we are going to do it with Baker. And then, some people have this Amika guy as like the second wideout in the class. So my team needs wide receiver help, past ADP on him. Seems like a good time. It's kind of nice that I don't watch college football because I don't have any bias against the rookies. I'm just like, look, if they're getting mocked in the first round and people are down for them for whatever nerd stat they want, come on here. Like, for me, being all in on Brian Thomas last year was as simple as huge dude, fast, first round pick, Jaguars. And I knew Gabe Davis, not a huge threat for targets in the long run. So other people were like, oh, Brian Thomas, he doesn't run a full route tree. He doesn't do blah, blah, blah. They outsmart themselves on it. Right? So pretty decent, fun team. Baker, HN, CMC, Cook, Evans, Judy, Godwin, Amika, Egbuka. Christian Watson last round is insane value. Gabe, he's definitely going to make my article for risk reward where I don't know, man. He tore his ACL like week 17. So if to you, value is a guy who is going to be a zero almost assuredly weeks 1 through 14, and then maybe he can win you a week, sure. But I don't know, man. He's not too dissimilar to Tank Dell to me, where there are guys in the last round who don't have the ceiling of Watson, but I know are going to play. So I have a hard time doing it. And I've been a Christian Watson guy his whole career. Heck yeah, man. I think the mocks should get a little bit more accurate after the combine because we have to keep in mind that at the combine, the guys who, Tank Dell's not playing, and that's what I'm saying could happen with Watson, my friend. At the combine, the guys who have mocks that we care about, they get to talk with a lot of executives too. The thing with Baker is, despite him being an awesome fantasy quarterback, I don't really feel that comfortable only going 2 QB with him. I might if I take another high drafted QB, but he just doesn't really feel like a 2 QB. He's like it's probably just like past bias, but he's kind of feels like pocket passer guy, 3 QB type of dude. Thoughts on Deontay in the 20th? I talked about him on stream to Davis last week. I think he's a worthy gamble. He's a better gamble to me than like Christian Watson. Both of them couldn't play, but at least Deontay's not hurt. I think scooping the value on Jonnu feels pretty good. And it's between Njoku and Mims for me. Both are interesting in different ways. We'll do Mims. I don't really see the difference between like Marvin Mims and Rashid Shaheed, who I guess Rashid Shaheed used to go up here. I guess the same could be said Marvin Mims and Josh Downs. Like, what's the difference except we know who Marvin Mims' quarterback will be? And again, people were freaking out about the Sutton thing, but I'm not sure Sutton is a Bronco. Mims, I've never been into Mims in the past, but finished really strong down the stretch, has big play upside. The nice thing about Njoku is it allows me to stop at 2 tight ends for sure. Again, I've not done a ton of drafts yet, so it's my first time taking a lot of players, but I've not done Cousins yet. I think he's fine as a QB3 though. Cousins and Rodgers, it's the same deal on them for both of them. You're hoping that a full year recovered from the Achilles, they're closer to what they once were. And I mean, I do think there's some logic in that personally. Rodgers less so just because he's so old, but if you guys can remember, people were not expecting Rodgers to be ready to start the year last year, and then he did and played fine enough. We got some same team correlation going on, and that is also what made me think about Njoku, because I could have gone Judy Njoku to pair with Achan. I have Achan and Smith, Godwin and Evans with Baker. Could have gone CMC and Ayuk. So we're getting a lot of same team correlation, which is it's nice to correlate your bets that way. You can get paid in a lot of ways. Negative correlation, where if one guy's having a really big game, hopefully you're capturing that, even if the teammate has a bad week. Positive correlation, both in a team sense where the offense is just good and or the team scores a lot of points in a game. So like last year, the offense is just good. I would say like if you were just in on the Bucks, that's some positive correlation, just like the quality of the team. I think this is way too expensive for Kelsey with the questions. Probably gonna scoop Tua here. And then, I mean, Tajay Spears as a final running back is pretty tempting. Travis Hunter is obviously tempting as well. I would say Hunter has the biggest upside. He also has the most downside. Screw it. Let's have some fun. No, let's do Spears. Because running back falls off a cliff after him. And I think in the sense of if these people are drafting logical, this pick should cause the most panic for other teams and therefore push value down to me, where both picks work for my team, right? But with HN, CMC, Cook, and Spears, who's like priced the same as he once was or last year, other teams who need running backs are going to have to start reaching up for them, which is going to push hopefully some value down to me later. Is Tajay not just expensive Ray Davis and Braylon Allen? It's possible, Tanner. Artie, what email are you emailing? Oh, this emails. We'll close it. Is Tajay not just expensive Ray Davis? And I mean, that's possible, Tanner, but the way I view it is he's more of a 1B to Pollard. And Davis is more likely to be the 2, possibly the 1B. And it's possible that Spears is just the 1A this year. And it would probably take injury for Davis to be the 1A. Like the way Davis gets pays off is being the goal line back. And Braylon Allen, I mean, he could be the 3. He could be behind Isaiah Davis. My belief is that pick sixes would count for Hunter. I mix my builds, little Dodger. I don't feel like terrible at wideout. Baker and Tua. And with these, like, I can stop at 2. I'll probably, just because it's 20 rounds, I'll probably chuck a third in there late. HN, CMC, Cook, Spears. I can't stop at 4. Might add a 5th. Mike Evans, Judy, Godwin, Amika, Mims. Depending if Godwin is starting by week 4, feels okay. We're obviously going to go volume here. And then Jonnu, possibly going to stop at 2 tight ends, maybe 3. Probably want to have at least 10 wide receivers on this team, which means either 4 running backs or 2 quarterbacks or 2 tight ends needs to happen. Like, don't want to go 3 QB, 5 running back, 3 tight end, and then only have 9 wide receivers. Just think that with this team, I need to sacrifice depth at one of the positions, gamble I'm good enough at it, and go from there. Right, and with me taking Spears here, I mean, I get like Rachaad White feels like a pretty good pick too. Like he's not too dissimilar than Spears, other than the fact that Bucky could just be by far the 1A. Not gotten any Colston Loveland yet. Definitely want to get some of him. Some people are talking like he could be the top tight end. Yeah, Ray Davis, not young. So Kate Otten feels like a clear selection for my team as a second and possibly final tight end. And then I think this Isaiah Bond guy is supposed to be really fast and could get some post-combine buzz, and I need wide out. Yeah, Kate Otten feels really good. Like 13th round. Jalen Wright's definitely a guy I want to be betting on. Do you think Wright has a case to leapfrog Tajay? In upside, yes. In safety, no. Right, and like that's some of the reason to take Spears is you just know he is going to be around 100 points at worst. You know, if Pollard gets hurt, he'll be the workhorse. Who could be a bigger home run? Probably Wright. Wright also has more downside, though, right? Like Miami could draft a guy. Miami could decide this guy just isn't good. You know? Let's see where Isaiah Bond's getting mocked. I mean, Isaiah Bond seems not too dissimilar to Worthy. Probably not nearly as good. Let's see. Isaiah Bond. I'm seeing borderline first round picks. I mean, if true, he's like one of the best picks on the board. Congrats, Nazer. The thing about Corum, man, is he's not the same bet as last year. Number one, he broke his arm in the last game of the season. Maybe it doesn't matter. Number two, he might just not be good at all. Like, we don't know. He barely played, and I'm inclined to believe that is for a little bit of a reason. Now, if we're holding pre-NFL expectations, he's a great bet. Third round, whatever. Like, if he survives the draft and or free agency and he's just the RB2, okay. Seems good. But, I mean, I don't know. Kyron probably just going to be similar to what Kyron's always been. So, I don't know. Him and Benson, the rub on both of them is they might just not be good. Where I don't really see why both of them should go ahead of Ray Davis and, like Ray Davis, we know was good enough to be the workhorse in a game Cook missed. Wright had Mostert get released. I guess I can pray Shadur goes. No, screw that. We're not doing that. We're taking these two rookies. Alec, Io, Manor, and Jalen Royals. I was thinking about taking Shadur and hope that he just is a Brown. He's not going to be a Brown. I also thought about taking a running back, but I think if I'm going to squeeze a position, it's going to be running back. I think I'm just going to try to live and die by these four. Tough call there, though. Algier is a pretty safe pick. He is like I would say he's like a less upside Ray Davis in the sense that Algier is going to give you points. If Bijan gets hurt, he has massive upside. But Ray Davis might not require an injury. He might just become the goal line guy for the Bills. Where, Algier could split the goal line, but he's not going to just become the goal line guy. And I wouldn't say like Ray Davis just becoming the goal line guy is all that likely. Cook ran real hard and was good at it. I do think Stafford stays with the Rams. Yeah, I thought about Sam Darnold to the Rams, but I don't know, man. It just doesn't make much sense. Darnold is not that good. He's not terrible, but he's just not that good. So, Jalen Royals, Alec, Io Manor. I either just picked up $5 off the ground or I threw $20 in the trash, I think it makes sense to embrace some risk, though, in my wide receiver room. 4 rookies. Raymond reporting Isaiah Bond real good in Madden. Hey, man. Dane was hyping Io Manor. There you go. I wouldn't say Field is locked into a starter. Some people are just like making their bed with Justin Fields. His upside is not even that crazy, Benny hitting the cold shower to the Madden rankings. Albert O was once very sick on Madden. Oh, man, Albert O. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Stafford's gone, in my opinion. To who, man? I just don't see it. I think that they're both playing a little bit of hardball, but he'll get paid something. He's going to return. So Dart going, a little bit of a bummer. He would have been my QB3. With him gone, maybe I just roll it with Baker and Tua rather than taking this. Yeah, I don't get the Stafford gone, man. Like, what team is a quarterback away too? It's not the Jets. Yeah, so maybe I should have taken one of the quarterbacks. I think Malik Washington makes sense for this team. And let's go Jordan Mason too. I think Jordan Mason is just a fantastic value. Could be a Niner. Could not be a Niner. I think all is fine. Malik Washington, obviously, plays for the Dolphins. Small possibility Tyreek leaves. Dude, if he went back to Detroit, that would be so funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kyron is the Super Bowl piece, but Puka, the D-line, the Rams could legitimately be the best team in the NFC. The Vikings could contend with Stafford. That is something I agree with, but also it's just so hard to see that working because what do? For that to happen, you have to accept that JJ McCarthy was a bad pick. You have to accept that like Darnold and Stafford have to swap teams basically. It's just all so convoluted, you know? I mean, Stafford's like what, like 36, 37? Guys, we could be he just turned 37. We could be doing this for another 3 years. That's what I said earlier, you know? I don't know. You're never going to feel great about the wide receiver room with a bunch of question mark rookies, but possibly this is working. Yeah, I think if the Rams ran hurry up the whole game, they might have won. And look what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't agree with this at all. Stafford can beat any team anytime. And guys, you got to keep in mind Cooper Kupp probably just wasn't good. So Stafford was really doing it with Puka and Demarcus Robinson. Like if they could get even like give them Hollywood, man. Give them Hollywood. Give them sign Godwin, man. I don't know, Braun. The answer is no until it's filled. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna live with Baker and Tua. Tua obviously not the most comfortable dude to go to QB with in the sense that he has gotten hurt every year. But Baker taking him as an 8th round pick, living and dying with him. I just really kind of want 10 wide receivers and a third. I could go QB and just going Otten and Jonnu is definitely fine at tight end too. So maybe I'll do that. I'll take a third QB and just go Jonnu and Otten. We're back, baby. Yeah, we'll go Kirk because I do think Kirk could land with the Browns. And Slayton, Deontay, Trey Tucker, Josh Palmer, Curtis Samuel. It all seems good to me. Let's see. We'll go Slayton this time. Maybe Curtis Samuel to pair with James Cook would have been nice. Getting some division correlation. Hope the Bills play the Dolphins week 17, but kind of like how the team turned out. We went Baker to a Cousins, hoping Cousins lands with the Browns. HN, CMC, Cook, Spears, Jordan Mason. Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, Chris Godwin, Amika Egbuka, Marvin Mims, Isaiah Bond, Alec Ayamore, Jalen Royals, Malik Washington, Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton is like, he's my Elijah Moore, but I feel like he has higher single week upside. Jonnu and Otten seems pretty good too. I'm gonna get some water and we're gonna do another. No, do not want to be on autopilot. 4 more. Ooh, the 102. Yeah, Tyreek leaving, man. I don't know. Sure, we'll do our first Saquon team. Why not? All right, guys, I need to make a tea. My voice is getting a little hoarse. Be right back. All right. Saquon is funny because he is both a positive and negative regression candidate. He's a positive regression candidate because, I mean, dudes don't have to fall at the 1 yard line always, to get tush pushed. And maybe, just maybe they do the tush push a little bit less. As Hurts gets older. as Hurts dealt with injuries, etc. He's a negative regression candidate because he housed a lot of long touchdowns, which are not supposed to be year over year stable. Whittington, really wide range, man. I don't know. His ADP's gotten kind of crazy. Possibly he's the best pick on the board. Possibly he's the worst. Cup's ADP, yeah, I don't know. I'm inclined not to go all in, but it could be solid. And AJ Brown and Saquon would have been funny or fun. Why not? Big man T. Just a nice, safe selection. Chuba ADP. I see the logic to it. He was a great player last year. 220 points. Sure. Terry giving me a little bit of division correlation with Saquon. If I'm real lucky, I'll get Jaden Daniels to slide. Unlikely, but possible. I don't see any logic in this, but hey, everyone's got to have their reasons. What Tyreek wants isn't the most important thing. It's what the Dolphins want. I think reaching on Mike Evans is a good thing to do just because he correlates with this side of the board more. Willow. My girlfriend's cat is like a guard cat. So, UPS man just came to the door and she's like, I will. Go get him. Brian Thomas and Achane, that's a fun pairing. I think in general, going like Saquon T, Terry, not something I want to always do because I think there's a lot of validity to Marvin Harrison Jr., Mike Evans, DJ Moore. So just quote unquote reaching and getting unique combos there seems good to me. There goes the dream of Jaden. It was unlikely, anyways. Don't really love this start. Seems like good keeps, man. Worthy and Bucky. I mean, if you think Jaden is a significantly worse pick than Lamar or Allen, that feels pretty biased to me. So I have no real intention of taking Burrow here, and I kind of hope this guy does. If not, I hope to scoop Burrow at pick 71, which I do think will eventually fall here. Obviously, some dude's going to take him naked, but wow, Jameson Williams feels like a gift on this team. Don't really want anything to do with Mixon. Metcalf, Waddle, it all feels similar to me. Oh, it's not my pick. Yeah, we're going to go Waddle and just assume that this year was an anomaly. J-Mo and Waddle, two huge game ceiling guys. I don't think it's that likely, Jason, the drop-off for Tampa. I mean, it's possible. Cohen was the straw to make the drink stir or whatever I'm trying to say there. But I think in all likelihood, the Bucs have shown that they hire well. They're returning most of their core. Their O-line is good. So if anything, I just think Cohen's like a boost for the Jaguars. Allen is the worst pick on the board. I think this reasoning's pretty fishy, but I do agree that Allen could be overpriced. Why do I stream so early? I just woke up. Brother, it's 11 a.m. Eastern, so I'm hoping you live on the West Coast. Yeah, and this is the same questions were asked last year about Canales. So it's like, no. I don't think Cortland Sutton belongs in the same discussion as like within 7 picks of Jameson Williams ahead of Devontae Adams. That's a no for me, dog. So we got anchor Saquon with Waddle, Williams, Terry, and Higgins. Feels good. He did skip on Burrow. So now, I mean, like, the guy who took Hurts is just going to take Burrow. You just kind of know. But if Burrow makes it to pick 71, I'll scoop him there. If he goes naked, he goes naked. Do you follow the hype of ETN and Bigsby being as reliable as Bucky and White? Yeah, I mean, this is a connection that's easy to make, right? I think if you're going to comp them, Bigsby's Bucky and ETN is White. Would you fade Mahomes stacks? His price is getting pretty cheap in the 8. Like he was a fade for me in the 5th and 6th, but as he creeps to the same price as like Baker and Co., no, I wouldn't fade that. I'm not going out of my way to get it, but he does feel pretty good. So we did fade the only logical stack for Burrow, which is like pairing him with Chase Brown. But, Logic does not really matter, right? And what did I say? When you know, you know. The Hurts drafter 100% taking Burrow. You just know. Like when someone's already doing a wonky build that doesn't seem that good, Neighbors Henry, Kyron Hurts, you just know that they're going to go for the other quarterback. I think he's under. Still forming opinions there. I think post combine, ultimately I'm going to like the one who gets more draft capable and lands with a better team. But I would just mix it right now. You're here, dude. You did it. Most rooms I see Burrow go here, so his ADP is going to fall. And once his ADP falls here, his ADP is going to fall here. That's just how it works. Yeah, definitely going to be lowering Debo in my rankings. Let's go Calvin. Just a safe, solid. He's kind of like 6th round Terry McLaurin. I'm a believer in Christian Kirk. The biggest question is what's his recovery timeline? Yeah, no, the auto drafters are gonna whatever. But I'm just telling you, as the volume of drafts goes, that's how it's gonna work. So Luther Burden or Jennings? Jennings was so good, man. We're going Jennings this time. I do not. Do you aim for a certain number of rookies? In the big board, when I'm still forming opinions, I'm not like, I need to have 5 rookies, right? Like, as I learn about them, opinions shift. Typically, I draft a lot of rookies year over year in regular best ball, but you just have so much more info post draft. So, wide receiver room feels quite good. T, Terry, JMO, Waddle, Ridley, Jennings, and Saquon anchor. I think Pearsall is a nice click. I think that's fine, Matt. Mixing the olds and the youngs for the running back. Honestly, like with these 6 wideouts, I don't even feel like in 18 round drafts, I would just stop at 6 sometimes. Because all of these guys could be top 15 wide receivers. What do you mean by Ekabuka over Luther? Luther went pick 76. Ekabuka went here. I'm seeing mixed opinions on that. I saw Luther mocked 15th. I saw other people say that Mika's second in the class. I think, yeah, I mean, I think like Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold trying to get paid, the Titans make sense. Does seem to be a good rookie tight end class. Typically, yes, Blake. I'm a big 2 QB, 2 tight end. Well, 2 QB for sure. Other people want the safety. Wow, Warren would have been a nice second running back. Yeah, my Rashid ADP ranking was like anchored to his ADP, which used to be in the 80s, but he's fallen somewhat. I think we're gonna go Goff here. Doesn't really seem like we're competing with this dude on the inside for anyone, so we'll just go Goff here. Pair him with JMO. He goes Caleb to pair with Moore. And he goes Mooney. And we're going to go Purdy. Purdy was my most drafted quarterback last year. Seems like the market's caught up to that vibe, but it's absolutely essential you get your week 17 last year stacks in. And with Goff and Purdy, could totally stop at 2. So you could just go Saquon and a bunch of darts. And, small possibility I take Tua to pair with Waddle. But Goff and Purdy feels better than Baker and Tua, Around like May 20th or something like that. Hey, Connor. Appreciate it. You should either subscribe to my site as a thank you or become a YouTube member. And congrats. Yeah, I think the 3 QB minimum is akin to the double condom drafter. Oh no, what if my quarterbacks have the same bye? So be it. I know, I kind of like that you don't have the schedule right as things drop. Because it's a window for unique ADPs. I think I'd rather roll the dice on ETN than Najee. It's probably the last draft, Nightmare. Do me a favor, guys. Like, subscribe, join the Discord, links below. 99 bucks a year gets you a subscription to my site. Gonna have some articles coming down the pipeline. Probably summarizing some combine winners and losers. Going to have a ranking update post combine as well. Click the notification bell, man, and you'll get notified when I go live. Or just join my Discord. I always tag when I go live. Seems like everyone's in love with this Devin Neal dude, so let's roll the dice. Seems pretty results-oriented of you, Raymond. We'll pair Goddard with Saquon. Najee would be great for Chase Brown if he's in there. A lot of guys that seem like good picks at there. Made me, Christian Kirk, Keenan, they were tempting. The quarterbacks. But looks like we're building Saquon and a bunch of darts. Yeah, Rico. I mean, he's got okay upside, pretty big downside. His downside is like, I don't know, being like the RB3 on a team. Not really, Jason. More gonna read about consensus there. Yeah, like Trevor seems like a good value. It's not like a huge difference to me between like Goff, Purdy, Love, Trevor, Dak, Herbert, May. Yeah, Rashad White, very wide range on him. Yeah, I agree. I think Love was hurt. So much uncertainty at this time of the year. There's a supply influx in the draft, but there is not a supply influx in free agency. So I personally don't think Najee is good. I would not spend a lot of money on him. But, I mean, a couple things are possible. Number one, the hype for this rookie running back class possibly could be overblown. Doesn't seem that likely, but that's possible. Yeah, Keon going ahead of Kirk, and I think going ahead of Keenan is fine, but Kirk, I'm not so sure about. Same with Leggett. Wow, Travis Hunter, pretty nice roll of the dice after Quentin Johnson and Jalen Coker. Oh, I did miss this guy had Kittle. So I probably should have gone Purdy first. He could have totally gone Purdy. Wow, I don't know what Shadur is. Shadur, kind of a wild man pick. Tua man? I don't know. Let's go Rico. Seems like a great roll of the dice here. Cam Ward. Yeah, so tough spot. I mean, Ford, White, Tua. I think all these guys make sense. We're gonna go White this time. I don't think White has the same upside as Ford, but I want to mix that up. And I mean, possibly Ford will be there for our next pick. He has a pretty wide range. I don't know. A team that needs some running back darts, having Dowdle and White as your RB 3 and 4 seems decent. Yeah, it's very possible people like Davis are hyping Devin Neal up. I don't know. I've seen, like that happens where it's like obviously the people streaming, if they're into a person, people keep hearing that, group think, blah blah. But, Davis and Co can be right sometimes. So I don't know. My first share of him, but I want to mix him in. So interesting quarterbacks here. Shadur. I don't really know why Shadur. Shadur a Viking. That's what he's playing. I mean, this is kind of what people said about Achan. I mean, Brett, this is like my 18th draft, so definitely would have scooped Tua if he made it back. He did not. So no, I mean, there's some guys who I consistently think are good picks, but I'm not, once they have drafted enough to be like, yes, this guy. Yeah, I mean, dude, Any comparison of Najee and Saquon is just, I mean, just there's no logic to that. I've not gotten any Caleb yet. Definitely want to get some of him. Ollie Gordon. Ollie sounds like he's from England. Strictly because his name is Ollie. And Gordon, you know. Jolly old Ollie. How's your Bowers exposure? I have not clicked him a lot. I think I got a team when he went at the 2-3 turn. All right, this dude has a type of quarterback. Rodgers. Yeah. Cade Otton feels fantastic. I pick 167. Some teammate correlation, White and Otton. And I mean, honestly, Goddard and Otton is a good enough duo to stop at 2. Yeah, maybe not exactly, but we're gonna take Roshan, just way above ADP. We got some Lions. Let's take a Bear. Roll the dice there. Roshan could be a fantastic value. Makes sense to gamble on it. Grendo already went. All right, this guy's gone Shadur, Stafford, Rodgers, McCarthy. Exactly. No, I see no reason this draft should get thrown out. Like that's like a classic overreaction where it's like this guy drafted perfectly logically, and then I don't know, forgot to take Herbert and threw a fit and drafted 4 quarterbacks a bit above ADP. That's fine. And it's like it's so late in the draft that it's like he drafted a 14th round pick, you know? Who cares? It's not the same thing as someone going, you know, Njoku in the 3rd, and then David Montgomery in the 2nd, and then Roshan in the 3rd. Like that is a different story. I don't think Otton will be featured, but he'll probably be at worst around 8 to 10 points per game, have a couple games. He's got contingency upside. Yeah, he's probably tilting. Or like I think some people like look at another team, they're like, that team's really good. But I see. Yeah, this seems just not. And also, he might just like these dudes. 4 quarterback is not that insane in a 20-round draft. And luckily, Underdog won't let you take. Maybe they'll let you take 5, but not more. Yeah, Roshan. Look, he's a 15th round pick. Really, anything is viable. I think a hard pass is a bad stance, but we'll see. He beat out everybody's love and joy, Khalil Herbert. Yeah, he does some good things. They let you take 5. He's definitely going 5 then. Come on, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, definitely need to update the back of these ranks. Here goes Yosivas. Jordan Mason. Quite like him. Jackson Dart, why not? I mean, running guys, people seem to like him. Don't exactly need a third quarterback, but think it's fine. Yeah, he could side somewhere valuable. Khalil. What if Ben Johnson brings in Jordan Mason? I think there's some validity to that. Jordan Mason, Bears starting running back? I think he's a free agent, man. I don't think he needs to be traded. If he was not, he's not as good a pick. Or he's a restricted free agent. Yeah. And if he's a restricted free agent, the Niners can tender him for $3 million and they have the right to first refusal. So basically, another team can offer him more money than the Niners can pay him. Yeah, he'll get tendered, but then, if the Bears offer him 3 years, 20 million, think he'll be gone. I think Marshawn Lloyd made sense too with me having Goff. There's a lot of logic to Gene T with the Bears. But what if they don't? I mean, I don't know, man. What'd they play Swift? Three years, 24. I think Mason makes sense for the Commanders a little bit. A Derrick Henry backup makes sense. Kyron backup makes sense. Bengals RB2. What do you think about Hopkins ADP? I think he's worth rolling the dice somewhat and just hope that his knee injury really hampered him. I mean, Mason was good, man. Gene T is definitely a Bronco. I don't think he'll last that long in the draft. Top 3 most likely Gene T spots. I would say Bears, 49ers. I think it's going to be a high team, so yeah, the Bronco, I don't think a team late in the draft is going to get GT. And Cowboys. Yeah, and I agree. Chip Kelly and the Raiders at 6. Yeah, Knicks would love Gene T, but tough shit. He's not going to last that late in the draft. Jordan Mason makes sense for the Broncos, honestly. Yeah, you can demand what you want, dude. Top tier lines don't just exist on trees. It's not happening, man. Unless unless he's just not as good a prospect as people think. Sure, Chig. What if the Titans shock the world and take Jackson Dart first round? I have no idea who this guy is. Bayshul Tootin. You'll Bayshul Tootin, dude. Let's go Jordan James. He's got a little hype. We're going to build a 3-7-7-3. You know what? I love this. Can't go wrong with Michael Jordan LeBron James. Jordan James. Just a winner name. No, Raphael. 2 in a row is enough for me. Sorry, friend. Man, just imagine if I knew ball, how much more I would win. You know, Nate is just sitting at home this guy's won all this contests and he doesn't know who Bayshul Tootin is. Should have been me. Tough, Nate. Oh. Sorry, Nate. Sorry, Nate. Taking it all back. I was going to say, I mean, that's an interesting comment to slide in the 19th round. No, I mean, I think look, guys, the Jamar Chase versus Penny Sewell debate, you take Chase, you fix the O-line later. You get Gibbs. Whatever. You get the difference makers. Like, a lot of people wanted to hate on the Lions going Gibbs. I thought it was fine. It looks pretty fine now. I mean, that's possibly, Brett. That is very possible. Who comes to mind for you? Hopefully Jordan James. Team so far, Goff, Purdy, Jay Dart. Everyone hit the dart. Or I guess it's like Saquon, Devin Neal, Rico Dowdle, Rashad White, Roshan Johnson, Jordan James, Jordan Mason, T. Higgins, Terry, J-Mo Williams, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley, Juwan Jennings, Dallas Goedert, K.N. Getting Shiggy with it. Gonna throw a last wide receiver on that. Oh, look at Brett. Gatekeeping. Davis and I go live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. I don't think Hollins is gone. I don't think Cooper's gone either. I do think Curtis Samuel's a good pick, though. Might take him on his team. I think Keaton Mitchell's a good roll of the dice. I think Gibson is. Deontay. Don't know anything about Jarquez Hunter other than his name is sick. Dangerous. Who's going to sign Dangerous, guys? Russ to Jets? My God. Russ to Giants? That makes some sense to me. I mean, Russ is... He didn't look bad, but that's one of the worst things you can be at this point. Oh, we knew this guy was going 5 QB. You either have to be really bad or, I think Curtis, Trey Tucker, Westbrook, Luke McCaffrey. It all seems good. You know what? Year 2, Luke McCaffrey. We're back in it. Risky pick, obviously. He has a lot more zeros in his range than some of these guys. I think Mike Williams is even a good roll of the dice. Full year healthy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, like, subscribe, join the Discord, links below. Check out beatbestball.com. We'll have ranking updates post-combine. We will have a strategy article coming down the pipe probably next week too. Enjoy your days. We'll be live 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Peace out.